Hi friends, it's me, Alicia. I have some things with me today. The first thing I have is my Bible. We usually think of the Bible as a book, but did you know the Bible is really a library? There are 66 books in the Bible, and they were all written by different people at different times over thousands of years. So the Bible is really more like a library. It also has lots of different kinds of writing in it. It has poetry and history and prophecy. It has wisdom. It has the parables of Jesus and the story of Jesus. And it also has a lot of letters in it. So lots of different kinds of writing too. There's a book in the middle of the Bible, right here in the middle. It's about halfway through. It's called Psalms. And you may know about Psalms already. You may be familiar with one that starts, "The Lord is my shepherd." Do you know that psalm? And today we're going to talk about the first psalm in the Bible. Psalms are kind of like songs. In the Jewish culture, of which Jesus was a part, the Psalms would have kind of been like their songbook, their hymnal, like the one we sing out of at church sometimes. And these songs would have been very special to Jesus and to his family and to the people that he grew up around. Songs are kind of like poetry. That's another way we can think of the Psalms, or poetry. And poems are kind of a special kind of writing, aren't they? A lot of times they have to do with our feelings, or they use special images or metaphors, which are ideas that help us think about things that are maybe hard to understand. So I'm going to read this psalm to you, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. This is Psalm 1, the very first one in Psalms. If you want to be truly happy, don't follow the advice of wicked people. Don't hang out with sinners or be one of the disrespectful. Instead, wise people love God's instructions and they remember them all the time. Then they are like trees planted by streams of water, which grow lots of fruit at exactly the right time. And their leaves are healthy and full and green. Whatever they do gets the desired results. The wicked aren't like that. They are like dusty seeds that blow away. They never get planted, so they never bear good fruit. I want to show you something else I have here. This is a plant Miss Meredith gave me recently. During the year in catechesis, we planted some wheat. And you may not know that wheat looks like this when it first sprouts, but this is the wheat grass. This is what wheat looks like when it first starts to grow, before it gets brown and long and has the stalk and the stem and the seeds at the end. So we're hoping that this will keep growing, and we'll see how it changes as it gets more mature. I have another plant here. This is called a topiary. A topiary is a tiny tree, as you can see, in a little pot. And this topiary is made of myrtle. It's called Myrtle, which also happened to be my great-grandmother's name, Myrtle Blanche. This little tree, the instructions right here say medium to high light, keep moist. So I've been watering it every day. I can even feel the moisture on the pot. And then during the day, I try to keep it right by the window so it can get its light and keep growing. In this psalm, the psalmist, the songwriter, says that people who want to be wise and truly happy, they are like trees planted by streams of water, and they grow lots of fruit at exactly the right time. Their leaves are healthy and full and green, and whatever they do gets the desired result. None of us make all the right decisions at all the right times, do we? We've all made mistakes. Sometimes we listen to bad advice, or we hang out with people that maybe are not making wise choices. This part of the Bible doesn't say God doesn't love us if we make decisions. It's really talking about our everyday life and how if we hang out with people who are making unwise decisions, who are disrespectful, who are making bad choices all the time, that we'll get the results of those bad choices, right? We won't be very happy, we won't be very wise, and we won't be like these beautiful, green, healthy trees that produce lots of beautiful fruit. If we make bad choices, if we choose to hang out with people who are going the wrong direction, we'll be a lot more like those dusty old seeds that just get blown away. They never really get planted, so they can't ever really bear beautiful, healthy fruit or grow strong and healthy by the stream. And the psalmist tells us that wise people they listen to the instruction of God, and they remember those instructions all the time. What are the instructions of God? Some versions of this psalm say the law of the Lord. But it's not the law like you have to stop at the stop sign or you're not allowed to steal from your neighbor, although that's a good one. But it's more like the way that God instructs us in the Bible to love God and love our neighbors and love ourselves. Sometimes we are not very good at that, are we? Sometimes we're just not very loving, and we need instruction, and we need to keep company with other people who want to be loving as well. So we've talked about this before, but until we get it perfectly, which will be never, we have to keep talking about it, don't we? These instructions that we're going to remember all the time. We know that when we are connected to God and we're loving our neighbors and we're taking good care of ourselves, that then some of the fruit that we produce are things like joy and peace and patience and kindness. Self-control, that's a hard one. But it helps us treat others with respect. It helps us respect ourselves. And it reminds us that God is the one who can teach us how to be loving. It's really important, isn't it? And don't you know that in your family, man, we've spent a lot of time together this last year, haven't we, with our family? Do you know that when you are more loving, everyone in your family is happier? Isn't that true? When everyone's not cranky or disrespectful or rude or in a bad mood, when we're truly loving one another, not just pretending, everything is more beautiful. It's more life-giving. It's happier. We trust each other more. We get along better. We feel more connected to each other. So I want to remind you that when we are following God's instructions, when we're hanging out with other people that want to be loving as well, it helps us be like those trees planted by water. Like this little tree is going to grow big and strong and, well, maybe not that big, bigger. And it's going to stay healthy. Or this wheat, we hope, is going to keep growing and into full maturity. And that's what we want to do too, right? We want to grow into full maturity. We want to grow into everything that God has designed us and desired for us to be. Take care.